So Aisha, let's spend some time trying to understand what the current lay of the land is. And the lay of the land, at least in my book right now, is that Wall Street global financial market watchers are working with the assumption that it is going to be a blue wave, which is that the Democrats will get the White House and hopefully they will also get the Senate, which means looking at the policies of the Democrat, we actually could see increase in taxes, we actually could see a weakness in dollar, and that could really migrate money back into emerging markets. That's the assumption what the biggest asset manager in the world, which is Blackrock, seems to be making. But this is subject to the fact that tomorrow we will get Democrats, or Joe Biden will be the next president of United States. The Democrats will get the Senate. They already control the House. So that's the basic assumption. Second assumption, let's look at the data point, which will tell you that irrespective of who has controlled the White House or the Senate or the House, how Wall Street actually has behaved exactly 1 month after the US presidential election. I distinctly remember, or we both when we were covering the last US elections, the markets globally were completely taken away with a tizzy that Republicans had won and Democrats had lost. But irrespective of whether markets have got it right or markets have got it wrong, that's how markets historically have moved 1 month and 7 days before and after the election. And 7 days after the election, if you really look at the move is at best 2 to 3%. 1 month, a lot of other factors, they start kicking in. Let's look at that 1 month data once again, and that will establish that markets actually 1 month after the US presidential election, irrespective of like I said, whether Wall Street gets whether Wall Street gets it right or wrong, 1 month after the election, that entire short-term impact of US presidential election, it tends to get nullified.
All right. Well, let's also bring you up to speed on the kind of voting that we've already seen. More than 95 million Americans have cast their votes, according to a tally by official sources as well. It's going to be the highest turnout that we've seen in modern times, and this is by ballot, remember, so it's actually interesting to see how successful this process is going to be. It's about a record-breaking number, equal to 69% of the entire voter turnout, which was back in 2016. So, just gives you a sense of the numbers there. Mail-in, early in-person voting, all of that prompted also by the pandemic, and that continues to, of course, be one of the contentious issues as well, and one that I sense most of the analysts and fund managers and experts that we've been speaking to have all been saying could have really turned the tables for Trump, particularly given the recent case rise that we have seen. Biden now ahead 51 to 43%. So he's clearly taken the lead in the polls. Whether or not there's an upset, we don't know yet. There's a battleground, of course, in certain electoral college states. So we've got Arizona, Florida, North Carolina that we're still watching very closely to see how things pan out there, and how much, of course, we'll also see in person on the day, because a lot of allegations of mail-ins not being counted properly, or allegations of fraud, worries about unrest. So it is going to be critical, Aisha, as we count down, and just about as you can see the timer on the clock, just under 24 hours before we know really what's happening there, but a lot that's riding on the outcome of this election.